So hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to spring. If you are looking around here thinking, is this what spring looks like? Well, if you live on the prairies in a cold climate like I do here in Saskatchewan, Canada, this is exactly what it looks like in the middle of March. So spring is a perfect time to get all sorts of seeds going using the winter sowing method. I have my perennials in jugs in the snow here that I planted a few weeks ago. Today I am starting on some of those more cool tolerant ones, and as we progress into warmer temperatures, I will be doing a lot of my tender annuals in this method. So let's head into the garage and I will show you what I'm planting up today. So if this is your first time joining me on my channel, my name is Tracy and I am a cold climate gardener living in Zone 3, Saskatchewan, Canada. And on my channel, I like to share how you can grow food, garden 12 months of the year, no matter where you live. So I've been doing a whole series of videos on seed starting. We've done some indoor seed starting with the snails, and I've done some winter sowing. And now that we are heading into warmer temperatures, warmer nighttime temperatures, I think it's time to really go hard with some more winter sowing. I'm going to show you a few of the things that I'm starting today, mid-March. All of this can be done all the way up until the end of March. We've already done some perennials that need that bit of cold spell to go through stratification. So they're stuck out in the snow. As you can see, we have lots of snow still, so everything's quite cold. But looking at the 14-day forecast now, it's looking like the nighttime temperatures are going to be just below freezing all the way up until the end of March. And then hopefully heading into April, it's only going to get better. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. You always follow that lost frost date to kind of as a guideline to know when to start your seeds indoors, whether it's a 6 to 8 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks before last frost, all those things. But you also want to, especially for winter sowing, or if you're going to be doing some direct sowing early spring, look at that 14-day forecast, look at the nighttime temperatures. If it's looking like it's going to be just below freezing and slowly get warmer, then winter sowing right now is a good thing to do with a lot of those more cool tolerant ones now. But as we get into April, I'm going to really push it and try some of more of those warmer, less cool tolerant ones, the tender annuals, different flowers that don't really, benefit in cold temperatures, but they should do well in a winter sowing jug. And I'm going to save all sorts of space indoors. So if you are someone who doesn't start seeds indoors, doesn't have the room, doesn't want to invest in grow lights, you can winter sow a lot of your tender annuals in the winter sowing method. Just need to do it when the temperatures are warming up more. Here, that's the other thing that I'm kind of working on right now, is finding enough containers. I like to use the traditional milk jug. I have access to a lot of these. I'm running low on them, so I'm starting to look for other jugs that will work well in this method. And it's something you can do as well. Juice jugs work good. They're smaller, so you can't plant as many or get as many plants in it, obviously. But that's okay, because some things I don't need a ton of. I'm going to be planting some cilantro in a juice jug. I have some Colette. I don't even know what this is, but I picked up these. They're like a Brussels sprout, kind of combined with kale. So it's a kale Brussels sprout. If you've grown kaleets, let me know in the comments how that worked out for you. But they're a cool, tolerant, kind of in the brassica family. So good time to start them. I'm just going to see if I can get a few of those going. I'm using some water jugs. They work really well. Just do the same thing, just make a hinged lid on it. Make sure you got about 4 to 6 inches of depth to put your soil in. And this is what I'm going to use to start some peppermint. I've done peppermint winter sowing, works really well. Another little container that works well for if you're just not looking to grow a whole bunch of this one variety, I'm going to use a 2-liter pop bottle here to start some spearmint. And then Something that I want more of is some bunching onions. These do really good in winter sowing. They would also work for direct sowing as well if you want to. So I've got a jug all ready for that. And then I'm going to get into some of the flowers, the annuals that I want to grow a lot of to get into my garden space to act as pollinators and companion plants for my vegetables. And one of those that I really love to add into my garden is alyssum. So I have a snug all ready to go here. So that is just when you take a seedling snail like we are doing indoors, make it big enough or tall enough to kind of customize the size to fit into a milk jug, pack the dirt in it, roll it up, and then I got dirt around here. So I'm going to use that for my alyssum. This will help kind of keep the roots separated, so when it comes time to transplant this out in the garden, hopefully it's a little bit easier to unravel and separate the plants and put them into garden. Because I find with alyssum, it's quite clumpy. If you plant it, you have to if it's overseeded, you end up with little clumps, and it's a little bit harder to break apart and transplant. But so that's what's going in there. Another good jug here I use a lot of the times is something like this Clamato container, and it again is a little bit smaller than the milk jug, but it works good. I know a lot of people do the baggy method. I haven't tried it yet, but I have a whole bunch of stuff I want to winter sow, and I'm running low on jugs, so I may get into more other options for my winter sowing depending on how it goes. So if you haven't already done so, I have some free cold climate gardening guides that you can download, and in the description box below you'll find the link. One of them that might be helpful kind of relation to what we're talking about today is a quick PDF checklist that kind of shows you whatever you want to plant, when you should plant it, how you should plant it, and you might find that helpful. So if you want to download that for free, just click on the link in the description box below. You will also see down there I have a link to my community, Gardeners Growing Together, which is located on the school platform. If you'd love to be part of a gardening community where everybody is able to interact, share stories, ask questions, be part of live workshops and different events all through the year, 12 months of the year, then you might want to check out my community, Gardeners Growing Together. Link is in the description box. So for the past few years, I've been trying to grow as many flowers as I can, try to avoid, whenever possible, having to go to a greenhouse or nursery to buy my bedding plants and try to save some money. Things are getting super expensive. And I really think when you can grow things yourself from seed, that is great. And of course, I have this beautiful window here that gets lots of sunlight. And now that we're heading into spring, it's very intense. And so I can start a lot of things from seed here without grow lights, which is great. And I've done that a lot for my annuals and, of course, my tomatoes and different other faster growing ones that, you can do about 3 or 4 weeks before last frost. But I wanted to try and go back to starting a lot of my annuals in the winter sowing method. I did it a few years ago with, like petunias, zinnias, calendula, cosmos, all those types of flowers that are great pollinators, companion plants in your garden. And they didn't do well. They didn't come up. So then I'm like, oh, okay, well, that was a waste of time and seed. And so I went back to just starting everything in, solo cups and trays and all that stuff that you do indoors. But now that I'm kind of on this wait till spring, wait till about 4 to 6 weeks before last frost and try these annuals again. As long as the temperatures aren't going to get too extremely cold, they should be able to be very happy in these little greenhouses that we're creating here. So I'm going to go all in again with annual flowers. I will be doing zinnias, some of the tender herbs like basil, parsley, dill. Those will all be going into jugs. Calendula, cosmos, chamomile, lobelia, and I got some lemon balm here. So those are all going to probably get planted up in jugs over the next 2 to 3 weeks up until April. If you are into the brassicas, the cabbages, broccolis, cauliflower, um, lettuces, like any of the lettuces, kale, spinach, all of those, great time to get them going in winter sowing jugs. As far as lettuces, kale, spinach, I like to direct sow them. That works good for me. I can get my beds ready. I have a cold frame, so I'm going to direct sow my lettuces and greens. But again, if you want to do it with the winter sowing method, that works well. So something that people probably never do, and I'm going to try it just because I like to test things out, is to try tomatoes in the winter sowing method. And I believe I did do one years ago. I put it into a jug like this early April. By the time it was end of May, first part of June, I had a small little tomato plant like this big. Of course, compared to all the ones that I had growing, had started from seed indoors, and they were huge plants. I put it in the garden, and by the middle of July, it was pretty much the same size as all those tomatoes that I started from seed indoors. So it does work. You just, again, have to be a little more careful with the care of them. If you're going to start them in this winter sowing method, I would do it, mid-April. Get out of here, cats. They like the dirt. So again, if you want to try tomatoes, I wouldn't winter sow them until mid-April, which is, about a month from last frost, and expect that you probably won't be planting them out into your garden until early June. And it just requires a little extra care. During the daytime, they're going to get lots of sunlight. They'll be nice and warm in here. At night, if the temperatures are dipping below freezing or fairly cool, you can just cover up your jugs with a blanket to keep them warm and insulated, move them indoors. So it's a little more hands-on, just like starting indoors, but I think you can have success doing tomatoes in the winter sowing method. And another thing to keep in mind is these do need some care and maintenance once they're out there. If we're not getting a lot of precipitation, which lots of times we don't, they do need to be watered. Once they start to unthaw and that soil warms up, it's going to dry out. Make sure you got those drainage holes in the bottom, no lids on the top. And I just go around and check the moisture level in them all through April and May. Just use a watering can to keep them watered. Just make sure they're somewhere out in the sun that can get any precipitation that comes naturally, but just keep in mind that they do need to be watered until it's time to start hardening them off and transplanting them out. So I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed, if you have any questions, or you can always join our community, Gardeners Growing Together, where we are learning and sharing all throughout the gardening season right now. And don't forget to click on the link to get your free downloads. And I will be doing tomatoes soon. I know that's what everybody's anxious. And if you've already started them, let me know. I am holding off, but I'm going to get my tomatoes started indoors here probably in end of March, early April. So stay tuned for that video, and we will see you on the next one.